Well, there's been a number of clients that if we get them to actually sit down, do a budget, work with us on what the numbers should be, it's not that difficult. People think that setting a budget is, oh my God, I don't know what my sales are going to be. Well, so guess. You've been doing this for 5 years. You probably got a pretty good idea. So anyway, part of a budget is estimates. Part of it is factual and applying market changes to those actuals. If you've been averaging X amount of dollars per month for something, for some service you're using, and all of a sudden you're predicting your sales are going to go up. Well, okay, if your sales are going up 50%, then you probably need to bump that service up 50%, or however the numbers shake out. But it's not rocket science, is what I'm saying. It's common sense, and that's really what it boils down to. Is if you sit down and you look at it, you can make some pretty good estimates. You can develop them by saying, what have I done in the past? What's similar to what I'm trying to estimate now? And if you're off a little bit, you're going to be off a little bit. The key to it is learn from where you're off, and next year you tweak it and it gets better. And each year you do it, it gets better because you're learning from experience. And if you're watching the numbers each year, you're learning. Otherwise, if you don't do a budget and you don't watch the numbers, it just, whatever it is, and you don't really have a way to follow it. But if you're doing a budget each year, you'll start being able to fine tune those numbers because you're seeing, okay, here's where we were off last year, so we need to tweak it a little bit this year, and it gets better. And it's an ongoing process. It's not a finite. We can put in draw a line in the sand and this is our budget. It changes. It's going to change over time.
So why do I need you in all this?
Well,
because most people won't do it.
Most people won't do it. They don't have time. They don't really want to do it. They don't like to do it. It's painful. It's hard. It's one of those things that if you're coming out of the blue and you haven't done it, it seems like it's hard to do because you don't know where to start, what to start, how to start, and it's really not. But you got to break it down into smaller pieces, and that's the first thing. The second thing is if you've got a track record of doing it, you kind of get a feel for what things matter, what things don't. Where should I estimate? Where should I go look for real numbers? Those kind of things, and it's a learning process. But if you work with somebody like us, we can come in and we can make it a lot quicker, a lot more streamlined, and it's a quicker, simpler process. If you try to do it on your own, you're going to be floundering around somewhat because you're going to be thinking everything needs to be perfect when it doesn't all have to be perfect. But you do need to know which things are critical and need to be close and which ones really don't matter. And that's kind of where our value is we've done this enough that we can judge where you can be off and a little bit and where you can be off a lot.